Have you ever dreamed of wandering through ancient temples, tasting flavors you've never imagined, or watching the sun rise over landscapes that look like they belong on another planet? Welcome to Asia, a continent where time dances between ancient tradition and modern innovation. From the snow-capped peaks of the Himalayas to the futuristic skyline of Singapore, Asia is a land of extremes. It's a place where ancient cities whisper stories through crumbling stone, and neon-lit metropolises pulse with energy. Every country is a universe of its own, with languages, customs, cuisines, and histories that stretch back thousands of years. But what truly makes Asia a wonder isn't just its landmarks or landscapes. It's the sheer diversity that exists within a single continent. Picture this. In one part of Asia, you could be sipping tea in a peaceful Zen garden in Kyoto. In another, you might be riding a camel across the burning sands of the Gobi Desert, or diving with manta rays in the clear waters of the Maldives. And while many travelers flock to Europe for art or the Americas for adventure, Asia has something different, a soul, a sense of wonder that lingers in every alley, every marketplace, every sacred temple. So today, join us on this unforgettable journey through the wonders of Asia. We'll explore mind-blowing facts, uncover hidden gems, and reveal the top 10 most visited destinations that you absolutely must put on your bucket list. Buckle up. The journey of 1,000 miles begins. Welcome to Tokyo, a city that feels like the future wrapped in layers of history. From the moment you arrive, the energy of the place hits you, fast, bright, and alive. Neon lights reflect off glass skyscrapers, bullet trains glide past at impossible speeds, and everywhere you look, there's movement. Yet somehow, in all the hustle, you'll turn a corner and find a quiet shrine tucked between buildings, a still pond in a manicured garden, or an elderly man carefully sweeping the steps of a temple. Tokyo is a paradox that works, a place where ultra-modern and centuries-old live side by side. The first thing most visitors notice is how organized everything is. Tokyo moves fast, but it's not chaotic. Subways run with mathematical precision. Crowds cross the street at Shibuya crossing in waves, thousands moving at once, yet no one bumps into you. It feels like choreography. The technology here is years ahead of what you're used to. Touchless everything, robots in restaurants, toilets smarter than some laptops. And yet, for all its futuristic shine, Tokyo never lets go of its traditions. You can step from a virtual reality arcade into a 1,000-year-old temple within minutes. Walking through Asakusa, you smell the incense before you see the temple. Sensoji, Tokyo's oldest Buddhist temple, greets you with a massive red gate and the sound of prayers murmured under breath. Vendors line the Nakamai Street, selling rice crackers, Lucky Charms, sweet red bean buns, and paper fans. A few stops away, you're suddenly surrounded by LED screens, cosplay cafes, and multi-level game centers in Akihabara. This is Tokyo's magic. It doesn't force you to choose between ancient and modern. It simply offers both. The food. It's a universe on its own. Tokyo has more Michelin-starred restaurants than any other city in the world, but it's often the humble, everyday spots that leave the strongest impressions. A steaming bowl of ramen on a cold night, made with pork broth that's been simmering for 12 hours. Sushi so fresh, it melts before you chew. Tempura, served with a pinch of salt and perfect crisp. Walk through Tsukiji Outer Market in the morning, and you'll see stall after stall of tuna, crab, eel, grilled skewers, mochi matcha desserts. It's a sensory overload, but one you welcome. Each Tokyo neighborhood is a world of its own. Shinjuku is glass towers and late nights, the bright chaos of Kabukicho, the quiet green haven of Shinjuku Jaiwan Park. Harajuku bursts with color and creativity, teens and fashion so wild it could only make sense here. Shops selling crepes, plushies, and every kind of quirky accessory imaginable. Ginza is where elegance lives, quiet luxury, flagship stores, sushi counters that seat only 8. Then there's Shimokitazawa, a bohemian dream of used bookstores, vinyl records, and coffee shops with hand-drawn menus. Wherever you go, you're not just seeing Tokyo, you're stepping into a new mood. There's a rhythm to Bangkok, a beat that pulses through its crowded streets, golden temples, neon-lit alleys, and steamy food stalls. You feel it the moment you arrive. The city doesn't whisper, it roars. Bangkok isn't just a destination. It's an energy, bold, unapologetic, and completely alive. It grabs you, spins you around, feeds you something spicy, and dares you not to fall in love with the chaos. From the air, the city looks like a concrete maze. High-rises, tangled highways, and endless movement. But once your feet hit the ground, you realize that every inch of this place breathes with purpose. Motorbikes weave between cars like river fish. Street vendors fan grills covered in skewered meats and salted fish. Monks in saffron robes walk barefoot past glitzy shopping malls and massage parlors. It's a blend of sacred and street, elegance and hustle. Start your journey by the Chao Phraya River, where the soul of Bangkok flows. Hop on a longtail boat, and let the breeze cut through the heat as you drift past colonial buildings, stilted homes, and floating kitchens. Life moves slower here, or at least it feels that way. From the river, Bangkok's skyline is a silhouette of contradictions. Golden temple spires piercing the sky beside glass towers and rooftop bars. And speaking of temples, this city is filled with them. The most iconic? Wat Arun, the Temple of Dawn, shimmering with seashells and porcelain. Its steep steps lead to one of the best panoramic views in the city. Across the river lies Wat Pho, home of the massive reclining Buddha, gold, serene, and 46 meters long. Then, of course, there's Wat Phra Kaeo, the temple of the Emerald Buddha, nestled inside the Grand Palace. This isn't just architecture, it's spiritual art. Every surface glows with mirror tiles, gold leaf, and sacred detail. You don't just see these places, you feel them. Walk through Chinatown at night, and you'll be hypnotized by the lights and the aromas. Gold signs in Thai and Chinese. Lines of locals waiting for a bowl of boat noodles or roasted duck. Lanterns overhead, tuk-tuks zipping past. It's overwhelming in the best way. Nothing in Bangkok is subtle. Not the flavors, not the sounds, not the stories. Bali isn't just a place on a map, it's a feeling, a mood, an energy that wraps around you the moment your feet touch its soil. You don't simply visit Bali. You breathe it in. You slow down. You feel. It's where nature, culture, spirit, and serenity meet. And for many travelers, it's a kind of homecoming, even if it's their first time. As the plane descends, you see a patchwork of emerald rice terraces, volcanic peaks shrouded in mist, and a coastline dotted with curling waves. And in between it all, villages where stone temples hide behind frangipani trees, where offerings of flowers and incense are laid each morning at doorsteps. Bali lives between the seen and unseen, the physical and the spiritual. Arrive in the south, and the mood is vibrant. The air is thick with salt and possibility. In Seminyak and Tasanggu, the sound of crashing waves competes with music from beach bars. Surfers with sun-bleached hair and tattooed yogis stroll barefoot down lanes lined with coconut trees, cafes, and boutiques selling woven baskets and dream catchers. It's stylish, creative-free. Head inland to Ubud, and the air shifts. It's cooler, quieter, greener. Monkeys swing through trees. Temples rise from mossy riverbanks. Rice paddies unfold like staircases into the hills. This is Bali's heart, where art, healing, and spirituality meet. Painters, poets, seekers, and wanderers have all found something here. Maybe you will too. In the early morning, mist curls over the Ayang River. The jungle hums with life. A bell rings from a nearby retreat. Someone is beginning yoga. Someone is meditating. Someone is simply listening to nature, to silence, to themselves. In Bali, slowing down isn't a luxury. It's a way of life. And then there's the coastline. Bali's beaches are not all the same. Each has its own personality. In Uluwatu, dramatic cliffs fall away to turquoise water. The surf here is legendary, the sunsets even more so. Watch the sky blaze orange while a monkey steals someone's sunglasses nearby. In Nusa Dua, the sand is soft, the waves gentle, the vibe luxurious. And in the Gili Islands or Nusa Penida, just a boat right away, coral reefs bloom under glassy seas, manta rays glide like ghosts, and the pace of life slows even more. Wander into a local village during a festival, and time feels like it folds. Streets fill with parades, masks, drums, dancers in gold headdresses. It's not for tourists, it's for the gods. But here in Bali, the gods are everywhere, and visitors are welcome to witness. You'll find yourself moved, not just by the spectacle, but by the sincerity. Singapore is often described as a city of the future, gleaming, precise, impossibly clean. But step into its streets, and you'll find more than perfection. You'll find a city layered in stories, a place where tradition meets technology, where flavors from every corner of Asia converge, and where every building, garden, and street corner has been designed not just for efficiency, but for experience. As your plane descends into Changi Airport, you already get the sense that this isn't just another stopover city. Even the airport feels like an attraction. Lush indoor gardens, waterfalls, a butterfly dome, robot cleaners gliding silently across polished floors. It's a preview of what's to come. Singapore isn't just ahead of its time. It's already living in tomorrow. But beyond the futuristic skyline, what sets Singapore apart is its compact intensity. Within a single day, you can walk through a Chinese temple, a Hindu shrine, a Muslim mosque, and a Gothic cathedral, all within the same neighborhood. It's a microcosm of Asia, wrapped into one island nation, where every culture has carved out a space and been woven into the identity of the whole. Walk through Little India, and the air shifts with the scent of jasmine garlands, incense, and spices. Saris ripple in the breeze. Bollywood music plays from shop fronts, and street vendors sell garlicky biryani and sugary sweets in small paper boxes. The buildings are a riot of color: pink, blue, yellow, and the mood is warm and welcoming, chaotic in the most beautiful way. In Kampong Glam, the golden dome of the Sultan Mosque glows under the sun. Arab Street is alive with the smell of shawarma, the glint of colorful fabrics, and the hum of hookah cafes. Here, art spills onto the walls, and heritage lives in the rhythm of prayer, conversation, and celebration. And at night, Singapore sparkles. The Marina Bay skyline reflects on the water like a mirror. Light shows dance across building facades. Rooftop bars hum with music, laughter, and clinking glasses. But the best view? Standing along the Esplanade, looking out at the city and realizing that you're somewhere rare. A place that has preserved its past, engineered its future, and invited the world to experience both. Delhi doesn't unfold quietly. It bursts open, alive with sound, color, scent, and history. The moment you arrive, you feel the hum of something ancient beneath your feet. You hear it in the prayer calls echoing from mosques, the temple bells ringing through alleyways, the rumble of rickshaws weaving through traffic, the shout of a chai vendor pouring steaming tea into tiny cups. Delhi doesn't ask for your attention. It commands it. This is a city of contrasts, where empires have risen and crumbled, where Mughal domes meet colonial colonnades, and glass towers rise beside ruins older than memory. It's chaotic and poetic, overwhelming and magnetic. You don't just explore Delhi, you surrender to it. Start in Old Delhi, where the soul of the city still pulses. Here, the streets are narrow veins, filled with the scent of cardamom, sweat, fried dough, and diesel. Rickshaws battle for inches of space with pedestrians, carts, cows, and mopeds. Yet somehow, it works, a symphony of disorder. This is where you'll find Chandni Chowk, one of the oldest and busiest markets in India, where every corner sells something different. Brass lamps, embroidered saris, bangles, spices, wedding cards, and centuries-old recipes. At the heart of Old Delhi stands Jama Masjid, India's largest mosque. Built by Emperor Shah Jahan in the 17th century, it towers above the chaos, serene and imposing. Climb its minaret, and you'll see a view that stretches from ancient Havelis to modern high-rises, from temple domes to rooftop kites. In that moment, you feel the weight of Delhi's history and its promise. Not far away lies the Red Fort, a sandstone fortress that once guarded the seat of Mughal power. Its walls have witnessed coronations, invasions, revolutions. Walk through its gates, and the city's noise fades, replaced by the whispers of time. The fort isn't just architecture, it's memory carved in stone. Amid the chaos, there's resilience. Delhi has faced invasions, partition, smog, and struggle. Yet it rises, rebuilds, reinvents. Every Delhite carries a sense of humor sharp as a knife and a kindness that catches you off guard. Ask for directions, and you'll likely be invited for tea. Get caught in the rain, and someone will offer you an umbrella or at least share your misery with a laugh. In Kyoto, time doesn't pass. It drifts like mist between temple gates or falling petals from a cherry blossom tree. The city breathes in silence and ceremony. It whispers rather than shouts, and those who listen find themselves not in a destination, but in a different dimension of time, one where the old still lives, and beauty is measured in quiet moments. This is the soul of Japan, not Tokyo's electric fever, but something older, slower, deeper. A city of temples and tea, of bamboo groves and wooden houses, where the changing seasons are not just observed, but honored. Here, every falling leaf, every ripple in a koi pond feels intentional, sacred. When you first arrive, Kyoto seems modest. No skyline screams for your attention. The streets are low and calm, lined with tiled roofs, lanterns, and little shops that close early and open when they feel ready. But step inside the stillness, and the richness begins to unfold. At dawn, visit Fushimi Inari Shrine, and you'll see the world painted in vermilion. Thousands of torii gates rise one after another, forming tunnels of red that stretch into the forested hills. There is no sound but your footsteps and the soft rustling of leaves. With every gate, it feels like you're walking deeper into something, not just nature, but spirit. Later, wander through the district of Gion, where cobblestone lanes twist between preserved wooden tea houses. It's here that Kyoto's most iconic image sometimes reveals itself, the Geiko, Kyoto's geisha, gliding silently in white makeup and silk kimono, vanishing around a corner like a dream you barely caught. Their world is private, mysterious, a reminder that not everything sacred must be seen. Then there's Kayamizadera, perched on wooden stilts overlooking the city, with a view that glows during sunset like the edge of a painting. In spring, cherry blossoms bloom around it in soft pink clouds. In autumn, maple leaves burn red beneath its balcony. In winter, it sleeps under snow. Kyoto doesn't resist the seasons, it becomes them. Then there's Arashiyama, where the bamboo grove sways with the wind like a breath. The stalks rise tall and straight, whispering overhead as sunlight filters down in quiet shafts. Walk through it, and the world falls away. It's not just beautiful, it feels enchanted, like you're moving through a memory of something ancient. Seoul moves with a rhythm that's all its own, fast but thoughtful, digital but deeply spiritual. It's a city where centuries-old palaces sit beside glass skyscrapers, where neon streets pulse with K-pop and street food, and where every alley, tower, and mountain path carries a blend of past and future, ceremony and surprise. You don't just visit Seoul, you feel it, buzzing beneath your feet, glowing in the night sky, whispering through hidden courtyards and temples tucked between high-rises. Arriving in Seoul feels like stepping into a future wrapped in tradition. The airport is sleek, the trains hum smoothly beneath the ground, and everything seems to work as if guided by some invisible harmony. But step into the streets, and the layers begin to reveal themselves. This city doesn't just live in the now, it lives in every moment at once. Wander through Gyeongbokgung Palace, and you'll find yourself walking where kings once ruled, under curved tiled roofs, past guards in vibrant hanbok uniforms, between columns painted in reds and greens that echo the rhythms of Korean art and order. Built in the 14th century, burned, rebuilt, and preserved, the palace is a living symbol of resilience. It doesn't feel frozen in history, it feels like a heartbeat that continues, slow and steady, in the midst of the modern capital. Then ride the subway to Gangnam, where luxury lives. Polished storefronts, high fashion, glass buildings that shine like they've never seen dust. It's where tech giants and plastic surgery clinics coexist beside rooftop cafes and silent lounges that overlook the city. Gangnam isn't about subtlety, it's about shine. But even here, there's soul. In the alley eateries, in the late-night convenience stores, in the carefully curated chaos of Seoul's most glamorous district. And then there's Bukshin-Hanek Village, the opposite of Gangnam. Here, winding streets lead you through a preserved neighborhood of traditional Hanek houses, with wooden frames and curved roofs built to honor the wind and seasons. Some are homes, others are goose houses or galleries, but all of them feel like a whisper of Korea's architectural soul, held in the hands of time. Dubai rises from the desert like a vision, a place that shouldn't exist, but does. A city sculpted from sand and ambition, where what once was a quiet fishing village has transformed into one of the most surreal skylines on Earth. Here, the impossible isn't just imagined, it's built. A 7-star hotel shaped like a sail, an island shaped like a palm, a tower that reaches above the clouds. But look closer, and you'll find more than just spectacle. You'll find a story of transformation, of grit, grace, and the pursuit of greatness. The moment you arrive, the heat hits you, dry, intense but clean. The airport gleams with white light, gold accents, and polished marble floors. Everything feels new, precise, curated. Step into a taxi, and within minutes, the desert becomes a city of glass and steel. Towers rise like futuristic sculptures. Roads gleam like mirrors. The skyline isn't just modern, it feels otherworldly. And towering above it all is the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building on the planet. It doesn't just scrape the sky, it pierces it. Look up, and it keeps going. At night, it becomes a beacon, lit by LED patterns and dancing fountains below. Ride the elevator to the top, and the city unfolds beneath you like a dream. Endless highways, distant dunes, a coastline that curves into the horizon. For a moment, it feels like you're floating above the world. But Dubai isn't only about height. It's about contrast. Beneath the towers lie neighborhoods that hum with history. In Al Fahidi, the city's heritage district, the wind towers and sand-colored buildings whisper of a different time. Walk through the narrow lanes, and you'll smell oud and cardamom, hear the call to prayer echoing across stone courtyards, and find small museums tucked into quiet corners. It's not about luxury here, it's about memory. But turn around, and you're back in the future. Dubai Mall isn't just a shopping center, it's a city inside a city. Fashion houses, aquarium tunnels, indoor waterfalls, and an ice rink all under one roof. Walk outside, and the Dubai fountain comes alive with music, lights, and jets of water that leap higher than buildings. You watch, and you forget where you are, or what's even real. Visit Jumeirah Mosque, open to non-Muslims, and you'll be invited to understand Islam beyond headlines, through conversation, through hospitality, through shared coffee and dates. The city may be modern, but its heart is still shaped by tradition, by generosity, by faith. Hong Kong isn't just a city, it's a pulse, a vertical poem of steel and glass, of incense smoke and neon haze. It moves fast, speaks in many tongues, and never stops evolving. One moment you're brushing shoulders in a market, alley lit by hanging bulbs, and the next you're sipping espresso on the 100th floor of a tower that kisses the clouds. This is where East meets West, not with tension, but with rhythm. A place where contrast is the architecture of daily life. From the air, Hong Kong looks like a miracle. A jungle of skyscrapers rising from green mountains, stitched together by freeways, ferries, and flashing lights. But when your feet finally touch the ground, that miracle becomes tangible. You don't just see the city, it surrounds you, engulfs you, speaks to you through its architecture, its food, its people. Start in Central, the financial heart. Skyscrapers shimmer like crystal spears. Beneath them, men in suits walk beside grandmothers carrying vegetables, monks in robes, teenagers in high fashion. Glass elevators rise beside colonial-era courthouses. Above your head, sky bridges. Beneath your feet, an underground city of shops and subways. Everything moves. Everything connects. Take the mid-levels escalator, the world's longest outdoor covered escalator, and ride through urban layers like peeling back history. At each stop, a new world. Cafes, bookstores, bars carved into old tenements, hidden temples nestled behind modern walls. Life here doesn't spread out, it stacks. Istanbul is not a city. It's a tapestry, woven with gold, stone, shadow, and prayer. It stretches across 2 continents and 20 centuries, balancing east and west not with compromise, but with poetry. Here, minarets pierce the skyline beside domes that have watched empires rise and fall. Markets overflow with saffron and silk. Boats drift across the Bosphorus under skies painted by the call to prayer. It is a city where time doesn't pass. It circles. Layers fold upon layers, and every step reveals another. When you arrive, the first sensation is scent, roasted chestnuts, grilled meat, ocean wind, and sweet smoke curling from hookah pipes. The second is sound, seagulls, fairy horns, the echoing voice of the muezzin. Istanbul doesn't welcome you gently. It pulls you in with rhythm. Walk through Sultanahmet, and you walk through the bones of empires. The Hagia Sophia rises like a myth, once a church, then a mosque, then a museum, and now a mosque again. Its massive dome floats, weightless, held by faith and engineering. Inside, light filters through stained glass, and ancient Islamic calligraphy covers faded Christian mosaics. It is not contradiction. It is coexistence, raw and honest.